are one of the most prolific people I know. You're always busy. What's that like?
Oh my gosh, thank you. I know it's so true. And all my friends and colleagues say the same thing. I love what I do so much. And I love being a part of projects and putting people together and telling stories. And I don't know, I feel like that there is this constant thing with me where I feel like there's never enough time, and I don't have enough time here, so I'm trying to tell all the stories that I possibly can, and I love what I do. And they say if you do that, then you never work a day in your life. So
And that's true. I haven't worked in maybe 50 years, so it's tell that to the family.
you crack me up.
But what I love about you is that you have no ego like other people do. Like, I have to direct, or you do everything, and that's why I really like you. Not
Aw.
only as a director and producer and actress, but as a person, because you are like me. It's like, oh, I get to be on set. I'll sweep up. I don't care.
Yeah.
You get that energy when you're on set.
Yeah, I think I really love, one of my favorite places to be is on set. It's my happy place. I think getting the energy, seeing people in the morning, pull out all of the gear and bring it into a location. And I don't know, there's something really magical about what happens when you're on set and when you're creating. And I think that energy makes me feel alive. And I'm just really grateful to do it, because not everybody gets that opportunity. And I think people spend their whole lives sometimes just trying to, get to make a project, make a movie, make a music video, whatever it is. And the fact that I am doing it and continuing to do it, I'm grateful for that. I really am. I don't take it for granted at all.
That's really what keeps you kind of young in this business, is by always feeling grateful for every opportunity.
Yes.
What got you started? I mean, what was that moment where you just kind of said, "Oh man, I want to do this"?
Yeah, I grew up in a really big family in New Jersey. I'm the youngest of six, and all of my siblings are a lot older than me. My sister, who's the oldest, is 18 years older than me, and the youngest is 11 years older. So I had a lot of older people around me all the time. I was watching what they were watching. My dad loved John Wayne and Westerns, and watching Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. And it was just, those things were kind of put into my mind as a young person. And I think really it began honestly and truly when I was around, I would say, like 8 years old. I just felt this like overwhelming feeling. It was the first time that I had ever been performing. My sisters, I believe, signed me up to do Little Miss Union, and they taught me a Whitney Houston dance to I Want to Dance with Somebody. And all the other little girls had tutus and were very proper. And they put jeans on me. They put on, a tank top, a big bow in my hair. And they were like, get out there and do it. Like my Mama Rose style. And I loved it so much, and I came alive, and I ended up winning Little Miss Union. And I think really, truly from that point forward, there was just never a time that I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. It was something that just innately lived in me. I loved performing. I loved the feeling that I got when other people felt happy and that they were clapping. And I just think that when you are a performer and you are somebody who does this stuff, I think there's like a high in that you're just like, oh, I want to feel that, and I want other people to feel that. So that's really where it began. I can remember around 8 years old. It was just something that, has never left me.
And then growing up in New Jersey in high school, did you do theater in high school? And
Oh yes, I did all the theater, Tony, all of it. I did all of this stuff in my high school. We had an amazing performing arts program, which I'm very grateful for. And then I did a lot of regional theater. So seriously, every weekend I was in a different show. After school, I was always rehearsing. I was always in dance class. I was a very, very busy kid, very much like how I'm a very busy adult. I was a very busy kid, just constantly performing everywhere. I got to do a lot of shows at the Paper Mill Playhouse, which is an amazing regional theater in New Jersey. Even my my senior year of high school, I got to leave school early to do the matinees because I was in the shows there. And my principal was a really cool guy, and he supported the arts and was like, hey, you got to go do this. And I really appreciated the support that I had from all the people that I was in high school with. It gave me a really great foundation to say, you know what, I could do this and I can actually make this a career for myself and go out into the world and, essentially take on New York City and then Hollywood.
Yeah, we're both theater kids, musical theater as well as dramatic theater. I love doing all of that too. And it does give you a sense of family, because you cannot have an ego when you're trying to get in your next costume behind the flat. People are walking by, you're in your underwear changing, nothing matters but the show.
That's right. The show must go on. And I think it's one of the best, most amazing things that I've ever gotten to do in my life is to do live theater. There's nothing else like it. It teaches you so much about life. It really does. It teaches you how to let things flow, let things go. There's that famous saying of when the bagel rolls out onto the stage, play the bagel. You can't just pretend that the bagel is not there. It happened. It's real. So we gotta inform the audience about it. So, it's just those kind of things that I learned very early on and allowed me, I think, to show up in the world as a person that I'm trying to be, and I learned all of that through theater.
I think that makes you a better director because you are empathetic now.
Yes,
to what goes on in an actor's mind, and of course the improving and everything that you kind of have to. We one time improv Shakespeare. I mean, it was because we didn't know the lines; we just went. But you learn how to do that because it becomes something in your toolkit.
Yeah.
You will use later on. But I do think that makes you a better director if you have come up through acting.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think that it just makes you a better actor as well. Doing theater, it really teaches you, it teaches you about the writer actually and what your job is as the actor. And I do think that, yes, it informs the actor, it informs me as a director, and actually even as a producer. It really, just putting a show together is such an immense amount of work. So I think that, learning that from a very early age, I learned, this is sort of what it's going to take to get something magical to happen and then allow people to be taken away for an hour and a half. That's the thing, and that's the magic, that's the juice that you want to create and get.
Look at that, it's so sad.
Are you living on the streets? So what happened? You were super talented, that you were the best in class.
Life. Burrito! Have you seen my dog, Burrito? Where's Burrito? I'm so tired of waking up from another nightmare over and over again.
Talk to me a little bit about My Home Unknown.
Yes. So My Home Unknown is currently out now on Apple TV and Google Play and Amazon Prime and anywhere you can watch a film. So My Home Unknown, we shot over the pandemic. And it was a very interesting film to do because we did it not like other films that we do at Wally Bird. This is a film about a woman who is unhoused in Los Angeles, and she also has a mental illness. So we wanted to tell a very authentic story, and the film is written, directed, and starring Yaz Canley, who's a very dear friend of mine. And she had sent me the script. I thought it was wonderful. I said, this is a really important story to tell. And we sort of filmed it almost like documentary style. And what I mean by that is it is a narrative feature. It is not a real story. It's based on lots of different research that she did in terms of people being unhoused and mental illness. But the way that we filmed it was a very small crew. There was about 5 of us that actually filmed it. We were on the streets of Los Angeles. We filmed everywhere. We were in the LA River. We went everywhere. And it was important that we did it that way because I felt like we were telling a very important story about a woman who is unhoused. And it just felt disjointed if I were to do that in a way that we would normally do a film where, we have a large crew, there's a crafty truck, all that kind of stuff just didn't feel authentic to the story we were telling. So in order for us as filmmakers to tell the story, I felt that we needed to do it with a very small crew, make it almost documentary style where we were following this woman and we were telling her story truly on the streets of Los Angeles. So it's a really powerful story, and we have a lot of great nonprofits behind us. The Downtown Women's Center we've screened with, they shout from the rooftops how important the film is. So we love that. Also in another organization called the People's Concern. And we also have worked with the Junior League of Women of Los Angeles screening the film. So lots of nonprofits who work in the field of working with people who are unhoused every single day have gotten behind the film and said, yes, this is very much what people who are living this story go through. So that's a really, really important thing for us that, they stand behind it and say, yeah, we love what you're doing, and, we're here to support it.
In doing the style that you did, a documentary style, did that help your actress?
I think so, because we did it in a way where there were not many people around. So I think it felt like we were kind of just going on this journey with her personally. And she also directed the film. So I do think that it did have a sense of she had a better, I want to say, when you make other films, it's like there's so many people around and, you're telling these inspiring or authentic or difficult stories, and you look around and people are standing around looking at you. So I think in that regard, yes, I do think that it was helpful. Yaz is a real powerhouse in this film, and it's just a really important story to tell, because I think, especially in Los Angeles, we get desensitized to seeing people who are homeless all the time because it is such a huge issue here. And you just kind of walk by people and it's like, these people are, mothers, fathers, daughters, artists. These people had lives in some way, shape, or form, and for whatever reason, they are now, on the street. And I think one of the reasons why we wanted to make sure that we told the story authentically was so that we made people understand when they're leaving this film, maybe they'll want to do something different. Maybe they'll want to volunteer at a homeless shelter. Maybe they'll want to get involved in some way, shape, or form to change what we normally do, which is just walk by people. And our tagline for the film is "Compassion begins when we don't look away." And I think that's very true. We tend to look away because it's hard, for other people to go like, oh, this is difficult, I don't want to deal with it. But when we don't look away, that's when we get into a solution and how we can change this for other people, for the better.
I think America needs a wake-up call, with all that's going on in politics and,
Yes.
everything else, that what you said is so true, that these are mothers and fathers and artists, and, most people don't realize that they're one paycheck away from being without a house.
Correct.
And, therefore the grace of God go I. And I think by getting involved in some charities and work, I don't think we can ever prevent, people being unhoused, but we can certainly make it sting less.
Yes. And, it's really interesting. I was talking about this to someone yesterday, actually, and it's so hard because, you don't want to deny people, riches in life and being, super wealthy and having all this great success. However, it feels so unbalanced and so unfair that, some people have so much, and then you look out and you go, wow, some people have so little. And that is really a very sobering fact and a very sobering understanding of, what's going on. And I agree with you. I think us as a collective, just human beings in general, it's like, it's hard hard to watch that. So I think what we have tried to do as filmmakers is, if you can try and inspire people to make a difference, and even if it's in their local community, it doesn't have to be here in Los Angeles. All over the world, people are unhoused and struggling. So how can we, as just people, make a difference? And whatever that means. Maybe it's monetarily, maybe it's volunteer based. But I encourage people in their local places to go out and try and get involved and see if they can be a part of the solution, so that we can have everyone housed.
I had to accept healing in order to help myself. No one else can do that for you. You understand what I'm saying? You ready to start talking?
Somewhere in your heart, do you want to go back to live theater at one time?
Oh my God, yes. I always dream, and I'm like manifesting, okay, I've never done actually Broadway. I have done off Broadway and I've done off Broadway, but I've never done Broadway. And oh my goodness, it is an absolute dream of mine. And I definitely want to make that happen at some point. I love it so much. Every time I go back home and I visit, many of the things that I'm doing is going to see shows. That's everything. And I'm actually working on a movie musical that I'm going to be directing in 2025. We are hard at work in pre-production on that right now. And I grew up watching musicals. Gene Kelly was, my idol, still is. And I loved what musicals and movies brought to me and to my life, and the joy that it brought. And I want people to feel that again. So I'm very excited about this. We have been working on it for, the last several years. It'll be my first screenplay credit as well, because we adapted it from a play, from a movie, from a musical stage play, and now we have adapted it to a movie musical. So it'll be, which I was a part of the writing of it. So it's really exciting.
I am excited for you. By the way, I just have to throw this in. I had lunch with Gene Kelly.
What?
Yeah, this is how old I am. He was directing Hello, Dolly.
Wow.
And I was on the Warner lot, and I had lunch with him. We just sat,
Wow.
and he was amazing.
Oh my God, I'm sure. That is so cool. Oh, thank you for sharing that with me. He is somebody who really, you just look at the movies that he did, and it just brought so much joy, and really made you feel, I think the best people make you feel like you can do it. And that's what he did. He made me feel like I can do this. And, here I am trying to do it.
Well, you are doing it. As we talk about the things that you've done, you're a hell of a producer. You have a lot of producing credits. Do you like that hat?
I do. I like it a lot. I think that, it's something that I'm very natural. I have a natural ability to do. I love putting people together. I also, for some reason, love putting out fires. I like creating solutions to problems and trying to find out, okay, this is something that we can do because we can't do this because of budget limitations or XYZ. And just trying to, find the ways that we can create the magic with what we have. So I do think that that job lends itself to my personality. I'm definitely I like to kind of have things going, and I like to be, I don't want to say that I like to be in control. I just like to sort of man the ship and go okay, everybody, we're doing this, ride at dawn, Yeah. So yeah, it's something that I enjoy doing. I think that producing also allows me to share other people's stories and give people opportunities that don't usually get them to share their stories. And I think that's what really excites me, is that I want people who haven't been given the opportunity or are trying to, or have come against roadblocks time and time again, that I champion them, and that I'm somebody who can help them achieve that.
Well, you're also a problem solver, and that's what producing is. You can go nuts doing it. It's like herding cats some days.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely is. And I think, It's funny when I'm doing all three at the same time, when I'm producing, directing, or acting, I'm like, oh, I really took on a lot here. And then when I'm just in one of those roles, usually if I'm acting, I'm also usually producing, or sometimes I'm just producing or I'm just, producing and directing. I go like, oh, wow, this is a lot easier when you don't have 5 other jobs to do. But, I love them all. And I think I love them all the same. I think I just have started to kind of go, what do I want to spend my time doing? And what are the stories that I want to tell? What are the things that are really inside of me that need to come out and need to be seen and heard? And that's sort of what I've started to try and focus on over the last year or so.
Continue telling stories. You're in the right business, and you do such an awesome job both in front of and behind the camera. I enjoy your comedy. I enjoy your the drama that you bring and the truth that you bring. So it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Again, you're one of my bestest buddies, and I will always be on your side.
Thanks, Tony. You're the best. Always great being here with you.